Alrighty, what are we supposed to be doing again? Halara's following us, but I forgot what we're supposed to be doing. Are we going back to... We're not going back to the agency, right? We're going to find the boy? Or no, are we going back to the clock tower? I'm following that exclamation point over there at the bottom. I don't remember what we're doing. Maybe we are going back to the agency. Probably, right? Oh. I forgot. The crosswalks. The crosswalks in Kanaiwar detect pedestrians and stop traffic for them. As such, it's fairly uncommon to see people waiting for the signals to change. I noticed that when I was playing, that as soon as I got close to the place where you cross the street, it changed to let me go. Boy, Kay. Oh, so I guess the boy's name is Kay?
You better hurry!
Okay, Shinigami, please stop yelling at me. I forgot what we're even doing right now. Which way do we go? This way? I'm gonna follow her. Is she gonna show me where to go? Shinigami, please. Do I get everybody again? Oh yeah, I go into the hotel and try to get everybody else. Is he still under... Oh, he's not under the piano. Oh, yes he is. Looks like he's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The chief called for us. Halara, can you check in for me?
Come on.
Most places nowadays let you clock in remotely, you know.
I see.
If that's a formal request, then I accept. But it'll cost you. Sorry, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Really, I guess I'll go myself then. He's so weird, but I kind of like him, not gonna lie. He's so bizarre. There's a book I want to read. I'll get moving after that. He doesn't seem very eager to go. I think... Is this what we're doing? Collecting everybody? Didn't we do this already? Or maybe I'm supposed to just go right back.
Oh, I see you've met Halara. Well then, I'll hurry up and finish my meal.
Please stop by the agency when you're finished.
Yes.
Oh, certainly.
Nice.
Oh, you met up with Halara. Good to hear.
At the agency, Chief Yako is,
Got it already. I'll head over soon, so chill out.
he doesn't seem very ready to go. But he'll follow what's-her-face. I keep forgetting. I don't know her name. It starts with an F. I thought we were supposed to just collect them like Pokemon. Just be like, here, let's go. I guess we just go right back to the agency. I don't know how to get back to the agency, though. That's a problem. Not that way. Abandoned building to the rooftop. Do I go in there? Okay. No, this is just for the sights. Halara's probably like, oh my god, he's so useless. He doesn't even know where to go. But no, I genuinely... Not a clue. Where? I'm trying to look at the map. I don't know how to read these maps. No. I feel like a dum-dum. I feel like I see the exclamation mark over there.
Not this way.
Okay. Then which way? Please tell me. How do I get back to the docks? I don't know. Ijinin. Trying to see what that says in Korean, but it doesn't really say anything. Sun-stalking secret club. An illegal members-only casino located in Kamasaki district. One can enjoy slots. Okay. Where I'm supposed to be going or no? Can I take the bus back? Can I go here? Currently unable to travel by bus. Thanks for that. I think I'm going the wrong way. I think I need to go back. Honestly, I'm just gonna spend this whole game lost in the city. Kanai Ward living conditions. Perhaps because of the daily rainfall, some people in Kanai Ward don't mind getting wet. Okay. Thanks. A little weird, but okay. Guess that's why some people don't have umbrellas. Where am I supposed to go? I'm so lost right now. I don't know what to do or where to go. Can't go there. Help me! Halara, please, help me! I don't know where I'm going. How do I get back to the... Ay, ay, ay. A district. No, that's not where I want to go. Right? I want to go back to the agency? What am I even doing? How do I check what I'm doing right now? These files update. Go down, go down, go down. The boy's guidance. He went to the cafe where that person was waiting. And what? What am I supposed to do right now? Not request. Oh, new objective, literally right there in front of my face. Return to the Nocturnal Detective Agency. How do I get there? Am I just like a dummy? I can't. I don't know how to get there. I'm not good with directions. Kanai Station Square. No? I don't think that's where we go. I need to go to the riverbank. I've been lost like this for like 10 minutes. The dead end.
Not this way.
Fuck, then can you tell me which way? This way?
Not this way.
Oh, can you tell me which way?
Master, you gotta hurry!
Hurry where? I don't even know where I'm going. Oh, finally. That took me 10 minutes. I'm not good with directions, let's be honest. So, Dragon Palace, popular meat bun, detective deed, an identification card.
It's the peacekeepers. Stay hidden.
They're taking Yako into custody.
Huh? Oh, right. Chief. And that peacekeeper from the clock tower. Seth Burrows. A high-ranking peacekeeper. He's quite infamous for being sly and persistent.
Well, we sure got some heavy rain again, huh? The humidity makes my hair fuzzier than normal. I don't care.
His voice sounds familiar too.
Huh? What did you say?
I don't care.
Could he be? He's not Todd Habercorn, is he?
More importantly, you sent your detectives to interfere with the Nailman case, didn't you? We have witnesses.
He is, isn't he? Ugh.
That Nailman. Now that you mention it, there was a case like that before.
Like I know he was in the second Danganronpa game and the third one as well. He's a great voice actor. I'm pretty sure that's him.
Oh wait, no, I don't know anything.
This flower, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh?
Created by Amaterasu Corp's research, this precious work of art is adapted to Kanai Ward's environment.
If you take away the megaphone, I'd be able to tell better.
But unfortunately, once picked, it can only maintain its beauty for 3 hours.
That's it.
When something beautiful withers, it fills me with an inexplicable sorrow. I feel so sad that... it makes me want to sink a ship.
Is he gonna sink our ship?
I don't follow.
The Nailman affair will be handled by the Peacekeepers. You and your team will withdraw immediately.
Does he need the megaphone? Can you please remove it?
Bring in the detectives you sent out. The Peacekeepers will take custody of them.
No.
Hold on. I don't know what detectives you're talking about, and I don't know where any of them are.
I'll wait until this flower withers. You have 3 hours. I'll not wait a second longer.
I need to look it up. I need to look up who voices Seth. I'm pretty sure it's Todd Habercorn, though.
If you fail to meet my demands, you will suffer the same fate as this flower.
Look at his face. He's so creepy.
Fine, I get it, but... can't you give me more time?
He's gone.
What are we supposed to do?
Chief Yako, are you alright? Oh, Yuma, and Halara, too. Yeesh, this is bad. Listen, the Peacekeepers just came by.
Yeah, we saw the whole thing.
I know. We were watching from over there.
Huh? You were watching? You could at least help me out.
Dude.
Hold on. Are you two the detectives they were talking about?
Yes. That's exactly why we didn't come out, because then they would have taken us into custody, and we don't want that.
I'm sorry. It's a long story, but it was probably us.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Why? What's going on?
It's exactly as the Peacekeeper said. We are currently pursuing the Nailman case. We'd like to search around the church. I was about to ask you to take us there, but you seem rather busy.
Yeah, I'm real busy now, thanks to you two! You're gonna keep investigating? Not gonna help your chief out of a jam?
No.
Look, we've got 3 hours before I'm taken away. If that happens, the last detective agency in town is done for.
Would you rather hand us over to the Peacekeepers?
So we have 3 hours to solve the case, basically, right?
What do you think you're talking to? I'm the chief. I'd rather turn myself in than ever sell anyone out. Though, I wouldn't want to do that either, if I'm being honest. Never mind, forget what I just said.
Man, he does not know when to stop.
What should we do, Halara?
There's only one person who'll be taken into custody. It's not the chief, not us. It's the Nailman.
Yeah, so we just have to solve the case, figure out who the Nailman is, and then we won't have to go into custody, and we have 3 hours to do it, or else Seth will come for us.
You will find the real culprit and turn the murderer over to the Peacekeepers as originally planned. With enough evidence, they will have no room to reject the truth.
But we only have 3 hours.
3 hours is more than enough. I will give my utmost effort as your assistant. With my logic, anything is possible.
I don't really get it, but it seems best to leave it to you two. You said you wanted to go to the church? Let me mark it on the map.
Thanks, but I'm not good at following a map, as you've clearly learned. I don't know where I am. I'm so lost.
It's for the best that I don't tag along. If we're seen together, things will get even more sticky. I'll be right here, waiting for good news. I'm counting on you.
Yeah, no offense, but Yako might not be very helpful in a case. He seems a little bit I don't know. He hasn't. The only time he's helped us is we got out of the sticky situation. Otherwise, he's a bit. I don't want to say useless, but.
Got it. We're off.
3 hours. You got 3 hours to solve the case.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm counting on you.
I'm gonna try. Okay.
There's still so much I need to do.
Oh. What's that a picture of? Can I see? Let me see. Do you have a tragic backstory? What is it? I love a tragic backstory. Worshipper's pastime. He smokes at least once every hour. Eton is his preferred brand. Ew. Smoking? No, we're not about that life around here. G.A. Colin's apron. A work apron made by camera manufacturer White Cross. Okay. So what am I supposed to do right now, Halara? We're solving the case, but how do I do that exactly?
You can get to the church from Kamasaki district. Time is short.
Oh, right. That's what I'm doing.
Hurry.
Oh, jeez. I keep running over that guy who's sitting on the floor. Gotta go to the church. How do I get to the church?
Over here.
Oh. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Show me the way, please.
Let's hurry to the church.
I'm not doing any more of the side quests, so. At least for right now. I'll probably go back when I replay the game by myself. I'll do them. The only church in Kanai Ward, a dark forest sits behind it. Of course it does. That's a creepy church if I've ever seen one.
So the Nailman urban legends originated at this church.
There aren't any ghosts here, are there? It's safe, right?
I mean, she is a ghost.
What's the matter, Halara?
I hate churches. I find them devoid of value.
Okay, agree to disagree.
Huh? Why is that?
Because prayer is obviously inferior to payment. Just look at the tragedies the city has seen.
Wow.
There is no God to save you. The lost lamb should look to detectives for help instead, don't you think?
They could look to both. They could look to one for comfort and one for solution.
I don't know about that. Depends on the individual.
Forget it. For now, let's talk to the people around the church.
Will they even listen to us?
They can't say no if we say we're on assignment for the peacekeepers.
Is it okay to lie like that?
Yep.
Whether it's okay or not is secondary. Our priority is to solve the case. In order to achieve that, deception is at times required. Now, let us educate those who are here that their true savior isn't beyond the rain clouds.
Okay. Okay, these are the weirdest looking priests and nuns I've ever seen in my life.
What is it you wanted to speak about?
This guy's a priest? What?
I've already spoken to the peacekeepers.
peacekeepers a bunch of times. How many times do I gotta say it?
Why does she have animal ears? Who is she? Zilch?
Hasn't the culprit already been arrested?
Well, I don't mind. I have time to talk.
This is awkward.
How long are you going to stand around like some tombstone? Our time is short. Why do you think we've gathered them here?
Oh, yeah. We have to question them, right?
It's your move. Play your card.
I don't know what to do.
Do I really have to do this? I guess Halara seems intent on being the assistant.
Is there a reason that text is in yellow? Is there a reason she's the assistant?
It'd go much faster if Halara did this, Master.
I mean, she's not wrong.
But I have to do it. No point in wasting time thinking about it.
Time for an investigation.
Okay, we'll talk to the priest first.
Are you the priest of this church?
That's right. My family has served this church for many generations. Though I only became a man of the cloth in recent years, the blood of martyrs spanning centuries dwells within me. Thus, my existence is but a piece of the eternal prayers offered. That is my mission, as the divine has guided me to do.
I don't get why, but he sure seems proud to be a priest.
Do you know about the nailman?
Of course. I have no idea how that rumor spread around. Perhaps it was even started by a wish made by those seeking salvation, which created the fantasy of Nail Man.
I mean, honestly, the symbol on his robes and on the book looks like a nail through a moon, so no way it would be like, if he's the nail man, that would be way too obvious, right? It's the priest.
Salvation? The people of this city must be crazy if they look to the nailman for salvation.
Hey, that actually sounds kind of cool. I know how they feel. I want to tie you up and go to a world where it's just you and me, Master.
Okay.
Isn't it basically already like that?
Okay, we'll talk to the wolf girl nun.
You are...
What are you, blind? I'm a nun, obviously.
I wouldn't say obviously.
You got some nerve calling me here out of nowhere. Do you know how busy I am with choir practice? I'll kill your ass in the name of God.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's the type my master has trouble with.
I'll have you know, my dad is a higher up at Amaterasu Corporation.
Of course he is.
I don't care if you're on a mission from the peacekeepers. If you piss me off, Papa will make you regret it.
Right. I'd just like to ask some questions. I'll keep it quick.
She's like Draco Malfoy. My father will hear about this.
Do you know anything about this nailman?
You mean the guy nailing up dolls? Well, I have seen someone going into the forest late at night. Whenever I've gone into the forest afterward, I usually find dolls nailed to the trees. The dolls have names written in what looks like blood. It's creepy as hell, really. In other words, it's totally metal.
Okay.
I see. By the way, what happened to your right hand? Did you get hurt?
Hey, don't stare. It's nothing. I went a little overboard while practicing an instrument.
Mm-hmm. Sure you did. Then why are you sweating as you tell me this?
Instrument?
I'm working on this new thing I call You know.
Are you sure? Because you look like you're lying.
Is that your dominant hand?
What kind of question is that? You want to die or something?
Oh,
It is her dominant hand. I'm sure of it.
I see.
Let's talk to this dude.
And you are...
I do the odd jobs like cleaning around the church. I also care for the forest.
Do you know anything about the Nail Man?
I often patrol the woods, but I'm usually asleep at night. When morning comes around, there are dolls nailed to the trees. It's tough to clean all of them up. I've never seen the Nail Man himself, but I've seen people enter the forest plenty of times.
Have you ever talked to them?
I have, but they typically run away. Some get surprised and leave their nails and doll behind. I chase after them to give them back their dolls, but I'm never fast enough. They always get away.
That makes sense with a body like that.
Okay, Shinigami, don't be rude. Don't be body shaming.
I understand. Thank you very much. Excuse me, but you are... Do you even have to ask? You know who I am. Huh? No, I think today is the first time we've met. What? You're investigating the Nail Man and you don't know who I am?
Dude, I've only been here for like a day.
What's that supposed to mean?
This must be the clergy member on the report who was the first to find the body.
Yeah, that's right. I was the first on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was on the report. I'm impressed Halara was able to realize it so quickly.
I mean, she is a master detective, isn't she?
I've been attending every day since I was first baptized here as a child. That's how pious I am.
Every day?
But I don't work here, so it's not like I'm a clergy member. I just love mystical places like this. There's an otherworldly feeling to it, you know? I love researching this type of stuff, which is why I've been keeping an eye on Nailman activity for a while now.
So, you know a lot about the Nailman.
That's an understatement. In fact, you could say I'm an expert in Nailman research.
In that case, what do you think about the clock tower murder? Though it seems the suspect has already been arrested.
I think he was framed.
You do? Then who do you think the real killer is?
The real Nailman, obviously.
Thank you, that was so helpful.
The peacekeepers are making a big mistake. Listen, the Nailman exists. The Nailman is summoned through ritual and commits murder based on a sacrificial doll.
Okay.
That's impossible.
Yeah, I get it. You probably want proof. In that case, look for a doll in the forest. You'll find a nailed doll with a name tag for the Dark Ceremony. Whoever's name is on it is the Nailman's next target. Just follow someone in town with the same name. If you're lucky, you might have a run-in with the Nailman.
If I'm lucky?
Fortunately, I wasn't so lucky. I've missed him by just a hair 4 times already.
I see. So you can guess the next victim based on each doll's name tag.
I was so close at the clock tower, too. I found someone whose name matched the name tag and figured out she was heading to the clock tower. I called the peacekeepers and entered the clock tower, but I was too late. Damn it! If only I'd acted sooner. was so close to meeting the nail man.
Okay, calm down.
Guess he just wants to meet the mailman and doesn't care about preventing the murders. So he's an occult enthusiast? Seems like a huge weirdo.
I've talked to everyone. Halara, is there anything you'd like to ask them?
Only end your turn once you've secured a shot at victory.
Okay, calm down. Don't glare at me like that.
Does that mean I should gather more information? What else should I ask about?
Oh man. Let's ask about past Nailman murders, about the dolls. If anything strange has happened about the suspect. So I don't want to do the suspect. I doubt they know who he is. About the past ones? Or maybe about the dolls? Let's do this one.
There have been several nailman cases in the past, right? Does anyone know anything about past cases?
You know a lot about these things, right?
Yeah, you can ask me anything about the nail man, including all past cases, obviously.
Is it just me or does the priest look like a hypno?
I was the first to find the body every time.
What?
Huh? Every time?
There's no reason to look surprised. I already told you how I did it. I find dolls with name tags in the forest. Then I look for whoever's supposed to be the next victim. But every time I find a victim, they're already dead.
Being the first on scene each time sounds super suspicious.
You think I'm suspicious, don't you? I suppose you would. The first person on the scene can always lie and say they discovered the body in a locked room. But the thing is, I've never been alone when I've discovered a body.
Okay, then who's with you?
All of the crime scenes had no way in or out, so I'd open them with someone nearby, or by asking the peacekeepers.
So the body's discovery was never done alone. If that's true, then all the rooms really were locked.
Master, why don't you ask for more details about past cases for now?
Can you tell me more about each case?
There have been 3 nailman cases in the past 6 months, excluding the one at the clock tower. The first happened 6 months ago at a secret club in Kamasaki district. It's essentially a members-only casino. The victim owned the place. At the time, the Nailman was just a name you'd sometimes hear about in urban legends. But I had a personal interest in the Nailman, so I started researching him.
Oh, I just noticed all the stained glass in the windows are all eyeballs. Ugh, that's creepy. That and the priest looks like a hypno luring children out. Oh god, no, get the heck out of here.
And then it happened. I came across another murder while investigating a name tag I found in the forest. I knew then that it had to be the Nailman.
And that crime scene was also within a locked room?
Yeah, all of the Nailman crime scenes have common characteristics. There's always a corpse and doll coated in nails, and also the murderer leaves no trace behind. Isn't that bizarre? See why I'm so interested in the Nailman?
I totally get it.
Don't empathize with him.
The secret club was the first locked room mystery. As for the second, it was at a mansion in the residential area near Yuma district. About 3 months ago, the owner of the mansion was murdered in the building's study. The crime scene again took place in a locked room with a corpse and doll covered in nails inside. Considering all this, there's no doubt it was committed by the Nailman. By then, I knew the legendary Nailman had descended upon Kanai Ward. The third locked room mystery occurred a month ago. A woman was killed in an art gallery storage in Ginma district. It also featured a body and a doll covered in nails in a completely locked room. And today, the fourth locked room mystery happened at the clock tower. That's every single mailman case. At least, for now. I'm sure the mailman will continue on. He will enact revenge for the people of Kanai Ward.
No. Just no.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I can ask about them all anyway. Let's do the dolls next.
That reminds me. Is there any information about the dolls used in the mailman ceremonies? I know a few have been found at the crime scenes, too.
You find that stuff in any doll shop.
Doll shop?
Huh? You haven't seen one? What are you, a foreigner or something?
Yeah, I've only been here for a day.
Around here, all the craft shops have been selling fancy dolls for a long time. They were mostly souvenirs for tourists, but that industry is long gone now. Some places still sell them at steep discounts just to get rid of their stock. If you know where to look, you'll see mountains of illegally discarded dolls all over the place.
I see. So they aren't much of a clue given how easy they are to obtain.
Anything strange happen?
Has anyone noticed strange things happening near the church lately?
Wow, what a big question.
Oh, now that you mention it,
What is it? Please, any small detail will help.
something strange was burning in the incinerator earlier.
Huh?
What do you mean by strange?
I thought it was a rope, but all I can say is it looked strange.
Can you try drawing what it looked like? It does look like some sort of bizarre rope.
What the heck is that? A ladder? It's a ladder, isn't it? A rope ladder.
Looks like a centipede with legs missing from one side. Looks delicious.
No, shush. It's a ladder. It's a ladder that they used to climb out the window.
I was worried that it wasn't supposed to be burned, so I tried to take it out. But I was too late. It was completely incinerated.
Yeah, that's a ladder.
I asked around to see if anyone knew about it, but everyone claimed they hadn't thrown away anything like it. The incinerator is surrounded by a locked fence. Only clergy can access it.
So, no one here recognized it?
I don't even work here in the first place.
Only clergy can access the incinerator, but no one claims to have thrown it away.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the case, but something's fishy.
It's a ladder. I'm convinced.
A watchmaker was arrested earlier. He's suspected of being involved in the mailman incident. Does anyone know anything about him?
A watchmaker? You mean G.A. Colin?
Tell me this guy does not look like a hypno.
I've asked him to fix the church clock several times. To think that he's the nail man.
Well, it hasn't been proven that he's the culprit yet.
Oh, I see. But if it were him, no one would blame him.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh, apparently Yuma and I are the same person.
This city has completely changed. Everyone is seeking salvation in some way. The nail man was born out of our situation.
You mean the nailman is what the people actually wanted?
Many would certainly deny it, but the nailed dolls continue to appear in our forest. first. If the Nail Man acts as their agent, then they are also the Nail Man. In a way. That's how I see it. What do you think?
It's true. The Nail Man could be seen as a savior to some people.
I guess, but it's still messed up.
After all, he kills the people you want dead for you.
Not everybody wants people to die.
I mean, the victim had it coming for doing something worth getting killed over, right?
No.
I think I've asked about everything I wanted to find out.
Looks like time is almost up. Let's get going.
Was that okay?
Yes, it will suffice. Thank you for your cooperation.
Are hurt.
You should study their faces well. They may end up being accused of the murders.
Are her earrings IV bags?
Huh?
Yeah, they probably are. I'm sure it's one of
You
them.
need to remember every face, so you can spot them even if they flee through a crowd.
Wait! Do you mean the actual culprit is one of them?
Perhaps. There's not enough information yet to act on. We have no time to waste. Let's investigate the other crime scenes. Best not to scramble what little gray matter rests in your head. So let's examine the crime scenes chronologically.
Okay. Well, the first murder occurred at...
Oh, I don't remember. Club, I think.
It's the secret club in the Kamasaki district, right?
Correct. Let's hurry. I won't allow time to be wasted.
Please let it just take me there. I won't be able to find it. Oh, I have to find it on my own. That's not a good sign. And that's a lot of stairs you have to climb to go to church. Your club. One can enjoy slots, roulettes, and card games, but many games have obscene rates and cheating is rampant. Credible rumors suggest there's a behind-the-scenes connection to Amaterasu Corporation.
Halara? I've been thinking. The first incident was 6 months ago, right? If we go to the crime scene now, there's nothing left to investigate.
You think it will be a waste of time? There's no need to worry about that.
So, you have a plan then?
What? You're working with Halara Nightmare. What more could you possibly ask for?
I don't know.
Now, let's be swift.
Huh? Right.
I don't really get it, but talk about confidence. Where's the secret club?
I don't know. Guess I have to find it.
I smell a mystery. I'm all hyped up.
Why do I have to find the places? That's kind of... Oh, it's right here.
This appears to be the crime scene, but it's sealed off. They've left it like this for 6 months?
No doubt they've shirked their obligation to clean up. I suspect the peacekeepers are lazy to a fault.
Okay. She's a little scary.
It's open. Let's go inside.
Okay. It's kind of scary, so you gotta follow her. Okay. Alright, let's talk to Halara.
The peacekeepers may be sloppy, but even they wouldn't leave the crime scene completely untouched. The body was probably found around here. The victim's name is Suguma Iho, an old man who owned this place. His reputation left much to be desired.
It's been 6 months and these machines are still running?
This place was an illegal casino operating at obscene rates. Even the cheating was rampant.
You sure know a lot about it. When did you...
During the loading screens.
I told you, I gathered my own intel while waiting at the cafe. The real interesting note is that this crime scene also had no way in or out. At the time of discovery, the door was locked from the inside.
There aren't any windows either, which is expected given that it's underground. There are air vents, but they have secure covers barring entry.
Ooh, this guy, he was nailed to the wall?
Besides, no one's able to reach that high up.
No windows. The only way in and out is the door that was locked from the inside. It's a locked room mystery. Locked room mystery.
Okay, calm down.
But there's not much more to investigate. We don't know what state the body was in at the time of discovery.
I told you not to worry. The conditions have all been met.
Conditions?
Don't tell me you've forgotten I'm a master detective.
No.
Oh, your forte.
Oh yeah, what is her forte?
My forte is post-cognition, the power to see the past.
Ooh, that one's cool.
However, it can only be used at murder scenes.
Well then, you're in the right career.
To be precise, I can only see how the crime scene appeared at the time it was first discovered. Another way to describe it would be as crime scene limited psychometry, if that's easier to understand.
Not really, the other one was easier.
That's amazing! It's like the perfect forte for a detective.
My power allows me to see the moment the first witness saw the crime scene. Not the culprit, not the victim, but how it appeared when a third party first entered. The memory or perception of the witness does not affect my postcognition. What I see is what actually was there. When it comes to my power, the witness is not a camera or a recording device, but rather a trigger. Perhaps the best way to think of it is like a bookmark stuck between the pages of when the body was found. Well, there's no point in wasting more time explaining. Let's have a look.
Can we see it too?
That power sure is convenient. Explains all the confidence. It's similar to the mystery labyrinth, where I recreate the crime scene in your mind. But now it's done in the real world. Although, it is limited to both the crime scene and the moment of first discovery.
But still, it's amazing.
On the other hand, my master's got nothing. Why is life so unfair? Now I'm angry. Master, can I nibble on your heart to help cheer me up?
No.
Of course not.
Can we see her forte too?
What?
I'm investigating. Don't interfere. Look around the scene in the real world until I'm done using my postcognition. Okay. Oh. Yeah, should probably look.
Postcognition. I wonder what it's like. All I can do is wait for the report.
Well, do I have some good news for you?
What is it this time?
Master, try to remember. Did you feel anything back on the Amaterasu Express?
Other than confusion and fear? No.
You know, when the other master detectives use their power
Oh yeah, that happened.
This sensation, I felt it when Aphex used his powers. Somehow, it feels like I can hear what Poochie hears. Right. I can sense whenever a master detective uses their power.
Yes, that's it! Maybe your coalescence will work now.
Coalescence?
Simply put, it's the ability to share someone else's power. On the train, you only felt the resonance of other people's fortes, but its true function is to share their powers.
Wait, then that means I can also see the scene in the past with Halara? That's amazing! Is this your ability, Shinigami?
Something like that. But there are conditions for it to activate.
And what are those?
You must kiss someone to share their ability.
Ah.
What? Kiss Halara?
No thanks.
I lied. Oh, did you blush? Did you really want to? You still don't know if Halara is a boy or a girl.
Okay, who cares? If she's a boy or a girl, I don't care.
Oh, quit messing around and tell me how it works.
You need permission from the person sharing the ability first. Then, you must hold hands while the ability is active. That's it.
I don't think she's gonna let us hold her hand.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Halara. Halara?
She's probably like, don't interrupt me.
I need you to be quiet. I'm concentrating.
Sorry, but there's something I want to ask.
Oh, thank goodness I don't have to hear it again. Like when they do that.
Coalescence. Hold hands. You and me.
Yes, that way I'll be able to see the past too. I think.
My sources made no mention of such an ability. In fact, you're just a trainee.
Yeah, but I just remembered I had it. Anyway, we don't have much time. Let's try it.
I have no intention of getting friendly with you.
She's probably never held anybody's hand in her life.
Oh, it's not like that.
I despise you.
Okay.
Huh?
Just the thought of holding your hand makes my skin crawl.
Okay, that's kind of mean.
I didn't know you hated me so much.
Let me be clear. I don't just hate you in particular. I despise all of humanity equally.
That sounds like a very lonely existence. Honestly.
I don't trust anyone. Except the dead.
I had a feeling. Halara must be a demon straight from hell.
Then why did you choose to help me with the investigation?
Because we offered to pay her.
As I told you in the beginning, I always work sincerely for the payment I receive. As long as you promise payment, I will promise my utmost efforts as a professional.
Then please, hold my hand. It's necessary for the investigation. You can add this to my bill if you want. You'll agree then, right?
Fine. If it's what I must do as a detective, then I have no choice but to agree.
That's cool.
can see it. Everything looks different than a moment ago. Incredible. So this is post-cognition.
It is pretty cool.
See it? So your coalescence is real. I didn't expect you to already have your own forte.
Me neither. I thought he didn't have one.
Well, this does save me the trouble of reporting it back to you, but it's quite inconvenient to keep our hands joined.
Just be quiet and hold my hand.
Very well. Go ahead and lead the investigation.
Me?
If you can see what I see, that would be for the best. I'm only acting as your assistant, after all. This is quite the bizarre crime scene. But unusual crime scenes are expected when you work for the WDO. Now, let's see what you're capable of.
Alrighty. Roulette table. Let's see. There's a roulette table. It probably hasn't been used since the incident as it's covered in dust. There don't appear to be any clues on top of the roulette table. There's nothing underneath either. We should check someplace else. Right, let's do that. Okay. There's a vent here. The four corners of the cover are screwed down, so I don't think it will open. I doubt the cover can be open when it's like this.
Right.
It's too early to conclude there's no useful information. Compare it to what was seen in the post-cognition. Right. I'll give it a try. How do I do that? Oh, I can do that. Oh, creepy. Oh, I hate it.
I see a body.
Why does he look like Frankenstein?
The murder scene through Halara's eyes is completely silent. There are dolls nailed to the walls and floor, and a corpse pinned down with nails in a similar fashion. This all feels like a dream. It doesn't seem real. There are abnormal decorations all around the crime scene. And it's so quiet.
Oh, it's so... Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate the dolls.
The man's corpse. He's probably around 60 years old. His body is pinned against the wall with countless nails. There isn't much bleeding, so the nails must have been hammered in after he died.
You're starting to get the hang of this. Not too shabby.
Oh, there are marks on him. Signs that he was strangled.
It's the exact same marks on the other girl.
The vertical scratch marks were probably made when he resisted.
Yeah, so he was killed before he was nailed on. He wasn't nailed on when he was alive.
The most basic of basic observations. Well, at least you noticed.
Stop being mean to me. Just hold my hand.
Thanks to everything I taught you at the clock tower. Such an awesome mentor.
This situation is identical to the murder of the clock tower.
The culprit first strangled the victim to death, and then decorated the room afterward.
Look, Yuma's so tiny. He's so cute.
But why?
Well, it's the same. I'm pretty sure it was the same for all of them.
I knew it.
Sure enough, the secret club has dolls nailed to the wall too.
Yeah.
That must be the nail man's calling card. They're what? Why did I say it like that? They're nailed into the wall seemingly at random, facing all directions. I can't find a pattern. There's nothing that can be connected to the culprit. Let's try checking someplace else. Vent.
Hey, this vent. The cover is in place, but it hasn't been screwed on. Which means it could be easily removed, right?
What are you doing? You can't touch what you see in post-cognition, even if you happen to be 3 meters tall.
Oh, I see. But I think this will be an important clue. The vent is about 40 by 30 centimeters. A thin adult can probably pass through.
Okay. Is that everything?
By the way, Yuma, did you notice the nail below the vent?
Below the vent? Huh. Some of the nails are bent downward. Maybe they were hammered in a hurry.
No, or they were stepped on and used as a ladder so they can get into the vent.
Or perhaps there's another reason.
Another reason?
Come on, Yuma. You know it. They used them as rings and a ladder. Or was it rungs? Rings? Rungs? What's the right word? I don't know, but they used it to climb up. Okay. Counter. There's a glass on the counter. It has a thin layer of dust, so it could have been here since the incident. A key was in the glass at the time the body was discovered. If you want to investigate, we should use post-cognition. Right, got it. I do. Oh, there is a key in there.
There's a key in the glass. Is it the key to the room?
Seems like it. By the way, being an illegal casino, the security was extremely tight. There's only one master key. It's also a special key that can't be duplicated.
If it was thrown in from outside the vent, it wouldn't be inside the glass.
It was placed in there earlier.
So this is definitely another locked room mystery! Hooray! I'm so glad I met you!
Ooh.
Yeah.
The slot machine is spotless. Looks like it was well taken care of. There's nothing here of interest.
Yeah.
Seems that way. Let's check someplace else. Right. There's a slot machine here. It's been untouched for a while, so it's covered in dust. As far as I can tell, there's no traces that could be related to the crime.
Well,
If you're curious... Okay, yeah, she said that already.
What a rich fragrance! How about a taste, Master?
I didn't do the post-cognition over here. Can I do that? Yeah. There's a doll nailed to the roulette table, too.
I see it.
There's also a doll nailed here, right in the middle of the roulette wheel. The doll itself seems to be the same as the others. There doesn't seem to be anything noteworthy. That is, in and of itself, sufficient knowledge. Let's check someplace else. Okay. Was this moved during the incident? As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem related to the case.
Yeah.
Let's check another place. I'm level 10. Got here. Guess it's just the door left. Counter seat. The chairs are lined up neatly. Did someone rearrange the chairs after the incident?
Well,
Either the peacekeepers did, or the staff here did. Either way, it's not something to worry about. True. I'll check someplace else.
What does that mean?
When the body was discovered, this door was locked from the inside. There's no other way into or out of the room.
In other words, it's a locked room mystery. Locked room mystery. Things are heating up.
The chair is knocked over. Could this be evidence of a struggle between the victim and the culprit? I don't know about that. The culprit could have knocked it over on purpose to throw off the investigation. There's not much we can get from it other than the fact it's knocked over. Let's check elsewhere. Right.
The lock is broken. Maybe someone broke it and forced their way in, like at the clock tower. But from the looks of it, there's no sign of the lock or door being tampered with.
Everything?
I think that's about it.
I think I've checked everything that I can here. Yeah, let's end it. There's nothing else to do. To look at.
that should do it. There isn't much else to investigate. I've never experienced this before, but it's surprisingly convenient to be able to share my post-cognition.
Oh, are we becoming friends?
It's exhausting to explain what I see to a client.
Really?
People do not believe what they cannot see. I have often been called a liar.
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther. Oh, classic.
I suppose fortes aren't always convenient.
We still have locked room mysteries to examine. The second incident was at the mansion near Yuma district. I have an idea of where to go. Let's hurry there.
Okay, but what was that mark on her hand? Did you see that? She had like a target on the center of her hand. Those exhibiting innate talent for special powers like clairvoyance or mind reading are trained by the WDO to develop a supernatural investigative ability called forensic forte, or simply forte. Servant's facial markings. Aw. Where am I supposed to go? Is she gonna lead me? Can she
The
lead?
building we're heading to is accessed through Yuma district. Let's hurry there.
Oh, how do I get there? How do I get to Ginma district again? Go up, right? Oh, I remembered. I feel so proud of myself. This is it, right? No. The religion practiced at the church in Kanai Ward. Its symbol is a spear piercing through a crescent moon. So let's find this mansion. How do I get over there? Tree. My way, lady. That's so cool. Such a cool mechanic. Like it's so small. Like it's such a tiny little thing, but I love it. It's so cool. It reminds me of Detroit Become Human. I love that game. Such a good game. I haven't played that in a while. I should play it again sometime. A mansion located in the high-class residential district on Montclair Street. The owner of the mansion made a sizable amount of money through real estate dealings. A man around the age of 30, an endless sea of rumors surrounds him. He's 30 and he's super rich? Can't relate? I'm not 30 yet though, it's okay. Not doing any of your silly side quests. I'm not dealing with that right now.
There's a large mansion beyond the gate over there.
Oh, look,
I wonder if that's the second crime scene.
he has to hop to look. He's on his tippy
Probably
toes.
it. Let's go inside.
He's so tiny and cute. I love him.
It's closed, as expected.
Okay, that works.
Are you sure?
Okay, she's pretty cool. I like her a little bit.
Wait!
At first, I was like, oh, she's gonna be the one that I don't like I dislike the most, but actually, I quite like her a lot.
It looks like a haunted mansion.
I hope there aren't any ghosts around. I have a feeling they'll appear this time.
You know, for the fact that she's a ghost, she sure is afraid of ghosts.
I've been meaning to ask, but aren't you kind of a ghost yourself?
The incident occurred about 3 months ago. The victim was Ali Hohen, the owner of this mansion. He had no family and lived alone. The mansion is now empty and dilapidated. The crime scene is in the study near the back. Let's go.
You gonna karate chop it? Yep.
The Nailman killings had another common factor, besides the locked room. The first person to find the body was always the same person.
That worshiper from church? Do you suspect him too?
What he said did make sense. He's been obsessed with the Nailman and had access to the names of potential victims. It's not too surprising for him to be the first on the scene each time.
I guess I shouldn't assume things going into this.
That's right. It's down this hallway. The crime scene is in the room on the right side.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was always the first one, I don't think it's him. I just think he's nuts. I just think he's like one of those fanatics who just follows. I don't know, though. I have no idea.
Let's head straight there.
Ha! Think you're partners now just because you held hands with my master? I'll have you know, Master and I are connected on a much deeper level.
Don't make it sound so suggestive.
Feels like a jump scare's coming up.
Don't do that to me. Rude.
So this is the study where the crime took place.
Oh, it's open. I wonder if the lock was broken at the time of discovery here too. There's nothing left here either. It's all cleaned up.
Just
I
to-
don't want to do it, but I suppose I can share my post-cognition again here.
Watch, she's gonna love holding hands with Yuma by the end of this. She's like, I don't want to, but I guess I can.
Are you sure?
Don't make a big deal out of it. Just make it quick.
Alright, I'm guessing we are gonna investigate every single one of these scenes. Let's go over here. Check around the desk and the fish tank. There's a lot of
That's
cobwebs.
true.
There are fish in the tank. It doesn't seem like they've been cared for since the owner was killed. They're looking pretty bad. Can we feed the fish, please? Is there a way I can feed them? Like, that's... I don't want to torture the poor fish. Inside the tank. Some kind of secret passage.
Yeah.
Would be interesting. It doesn't appear to be related to the case.
Yeah.
It's a lamp. The light's on right now.
Make sure to use proper lighting in addition to these kinds of lighting, as eye strain may occur.
Who are you talking to, Shinigami? She's breaking the fourth wall. Okay, interesting.
The crime scene of the murder is vividly brought to life before us. It all happens in silence, as though awakening from an eternal slumber. But the corpse will never wake up again. Even if the corpse did awaken, the nails pinning him down would prevent him from rising. The door is the only entrance and exit to the room. There are no windows and the vent is small. I don't see any escape routes from the locked room. Maybe the doll nailed to the wall holds the answer to this bizarre mystery.
There's a huge tank here, but there aren't any fish inside. Interesting, why are there no fish? Living things can't be seen through post-cognition. It doesn't have that ability. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. There is a projector. The projector is installed in the center of the bookcase. It wasn't on when the corpse was found.
You'll never reach it, Master. I'll check it out for you.
Well, did you find anything unusual?
Nope. Everything is extremely usual and unrelated to any case.
Okay, what is this right here? Why does this look funny? See this? Why does it look like that? There's no lamp. The lamp knocked over.
Oh!
The lamp's light is pointed at the table. It probably wasn't turned on at the time. I don't see anything suspicious. Doesn't seem like the lamp is related to the case. Okay, I'm just looking at everything. There's a switch for the projector on the desk. It looks like it was set to off when the corpse was found. I don't think there's anything yet. I do need to look at this in the real world.
That's right.
There's a projector installed in the center of the bookcase. I'd like to take a look, but I can't reach it.
That's right.
Halara, could you please take a look around the projector?
Very well.
Sure, give me a moment. The projector is pretty dusty. Doesn't seem to have been used since before the incident. So it's probably got nothing to do with the case. Probably not. Over here.
That's true.
This is where the first witness found the body. The bloodstains are still here. Considering the amount of blood, the victim was probably killed here, right?
It appears.
It seems very likely. Oh, creepy. Ugh. Oh, I don't like it.
The victim is a well-built man, approximately 30 years old. The corpse here is also covered in nails. His appendages and chest are all nailed to the floor.
The owner of this mansion made his fortune in real estate from an early age. But along with aggressive land sharking and other illicit transactions, he made shady deals with Amaterasu Corp. There are several reasons he behaved. A doll with his name on it was bound to be nailed in the church forest.
I wonder how the person who cursed him feels, now that he's actually dead.
Perhaps they feel no responsibility. They just hopped on the urban legend bandwagon.
Is that really the case? Wait, this is odd.
Did you find something?
Look closely. The length of the nails driven into the corpse are all slightly different.
Oh.
The length isn't the problem here. It's how hard they were hammered in.
What do you mean?
The nails driven into the lower torso went through the body and into the floor. But the nails in the upper torso did not penetrate all the way through the body.
Why? Why is that?
But why would the culprit not hammer the nails in as hard on the upper body?
I don't know. I just asked the exact same question.
That's not the only unnatural thing. Take a look at the blood. The nail wounds on the lower torso appear to be bleeding sideways. But the upper torso wounds are bleeding vertically down toward his waist.
Oh, that's interesting.
The blood flows differently between the upper and lower body?
What? So he must have he was either standing or sitting up when all the ones in his upper body were nailed in. And he was lying down when the ones in his legs were nailed in.
Maybe the upper and lower torsos are different people, and they were smushed together after death.
I don't think that's it.
That's disturbing.
The neck? It's the same, right?
The cause of death here appears to be strangulation as well. And like the others, there are rope marks around the neck and traces of a struggle. Oh, but on a closer look,
What's that?
there's a mark left by a thin string on the back of his neck.
It couldn't have been the rope that was used to strangle him. The thickness is completely different.
There are two different types of string marks on the body. Was he strangled twice? But even then, it'd be odd to only have marks behind his neck. And why do the strings have different thicknesses?
I don't know. Things are getting weird.
Anyway, it's an important piece of evidence.
Else to look at? Nope.
Oh!
Landscape paintings in extravagant frames are on display. All of these paintings look incredibly expensive.
However,
They're counterfeits. Not a single one is genuine. Doesn't look like there's anything relevant to the case here. Let's investigate elsewhere. Okay, I'm just looking at everything. It's a carefully organized bookshelf. Looks like all the novels belong to the same series, the Goin Saga. How many books are in one series if it's the whole bookshelf?
yeah,
I believe this series has more than 150 volumes. Unfortunately, the author has passed away. It's a shame that story never saw an ending. Yeah, that is kind of a shame.
Oh!
2 extraordinarily thick books are stacked on the desk. These books are in great condition. Aside from the dust, they look completely untouched.
beats me.
He probably wanted to seem knowledgeable. They haven't been moved for a while. They're probably not related to the case.
Hmm?
2 extraordinarily thick books are placed at the desk. It doesn't look like the books were stacked when the body was found.
Well,
The peacekeepers must have stacked them. Oh, good grief. What a bunch of amateurs. The placement seems to be the only thing that's changed. I don't think this will help with the case. A series of books is arranged neatly on the shelf. There's no indication the books have been moved. I don't think they're related to the case. I agree. Let's look elsewhere. Is that one doll? Is it bald? Where's its hair? Several dolls have been nailed to the floor. After the clock tower and the secret club, this makes 3. It doesn't make it any less creepy, though.
It's me.
Now is not the time to show fear. Investigate thoroughly and find the clues to solve this case. Right.
I see.
The dolls have nothing in common, and I don't see any unusual markings either.
It appears.
Nothing to do with the case, then. Ooh, but this is crooked.
What does that mean?
There's an expensive-looking landscape painting, but it's tilted. I wonder why. Could this be related to the locked room? Could there be a safe behind it?
It appears.
Doubtful. Judging by the marks on the wall, I'd say this painting was hung at an angle. Peacekeepers must have altered it by mistake during their investigation. You hung it on the wall and just left it be crooked? Oh my gosh, I could never. That would drive me insane. How confusing. Are you sure? Should we check behind it? Behind it for like a... safe or something behind the painting? No? All these books are lined up so neatly. They're covered in dust. Nobody's touched them for a long time. Meaning they won't help us with the case.
Yeah.
Even in the past, several books lined the shelf. I checked, but it doesn't seem like anything's different between then and now.
I see.
In that case, it's probably not related to the case. This one.
There's only one doll nailed to the wall. Comparatively, there was a nearly obnoxious number of dolls nailed to the walls in the other crime scenes.
It's so creepy. Oh, I hate it.
Maybe there was no room to nail them to the walls because of all the bookshelves in the way? Wait, this doll has both eyes gouged out.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Did the culprit do this on purpose? This keeps getting more and more disturbing.
But it's kinda creepy cute. I wanna put one next to the top of a staircase so people can run into it at night.
That's evil.
Why would you want to do that?
You know, this doll seems made of cheaper materials compared to the other ones.
Yeah, she's kind of right.
Hey, you're right. Like it's made of resin instead of porcelain. The texture looks cheap, but also more durable.
Too bad it doesn't have eyeballs.
The eye holes are connected to each other in the head cavity. It's like that darkness is staring into me.
Oh, why does it have to stare into me too? Get it away.
There's a mark on the edge of the eye holes near the nose. It looks like a string rubbed against it. How did this mark get here?
I don't know. And I guess the door is the last place.
This is...
The door to the study. We left it open just in case. It's always good to be wary of sudden attacks. Never let your guard down. Right, got it.
It's because of the teaching of yours truly. You're welcome, Master.
There's a vent, but it's too small for a person to fit through. And it's also screwed shut from the inside. It seems impossible to remove.
Oh, what's this now? Master, I discovered something. There are marks in the gap between the vents, like something scraped against it.
Really?
But given your height, you couldn't see it even if you stood on a chair.
Okay, don't be mean.
Halara, can you use that chair to peek into the vent?
I will do so for 10,000 Xian.
You're charging me for it?
I jest.
Look, listen, she's joking with us now. It's only a matter of time before we're BFFs.
The marks in the vent seem to be left by strings rubbing against it.
Strings.
Did someone hitch a string to it or something?
But why?
It shouldn't even be visible from your perspective. I'm surprised you noticed.
Oh, it was just a hunch.
See? I told you I'm useful. I do way more than just float around. You should give me 10,000 Xian as a reward.
I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, before I go into post cognition. Nope, okay.
The door here can only be locked with a key. However, there is only the master key. No spares exist. The scenario resembles the locked room mystery in the casino. We can disregard the possibility of a duplicate key. The master key was found in this room at the time of discovery.
This is also similar to the locked room mystery in the secret club.
But there is one difference. The key was found underneath the corpse.
Ooh, okay.
Under the corpse? But we can't move the corpse in the past, so we can't confirm if that's true.
Post-cognition isn't all-powerful, but it's a fact that the key was found under the corpse. I have a crime scene photo, taken back then, in my jacket pocket. No detail has slipped past my efforts.
Right.
Okay. Yuma, okay. Stop.
Huh? What's this?
Stop. She loves cute things. Well, I bet she loves cute things. She just loves cats.
Wait, not that one. I meant the other photo. This one's unrelated to the case.
Oh, look, she's blushing. Stop. She's so cute.
Oh, this is it. You're right. The key is near the middle of his back. But can this photo be trusted? Could it be something the peacekeepers fabricated?
The peacekeepers acknowledged the incident occurred in a locked room. Besides, there's no need for fabrication. After all, it would be more convenient for them to have fewer mysteries to deal with.
That's true. Sorry for being doubtful.
No, that's expected of a detective. You're starting to figure out how to do your job.
Thanks.
Was that a compliment?
Aww. Stop. Look, she's gonna loosen up and they're gonna become best friends. I don't make the rules.
Is that really all it takes to please you?
Also, I drew a sketch of the room's state on the back of that photo. Remember it well.
Yeah, okay.
Wow. Beautiful art. That looks like something I would draw.
But why a sketch? How can it help solve the mystery? Also, what was with that cat photo anyway? That's surprisingly cute.
Halara is secretly adorable, let's be honest. That's it. There's nothing else to do.
Looks like there's nothing left to check.
Yay, that's an A-OK for the investigation here.
Now we've gathered enough evidence. Though it appears complicated at first glance, the answer is simple.
Huh? Halara, did you already solve the locked room mystery?
What? You haven't?
Don't look at me like that. You have a picture of a cat in your pocket.
There's no way to solve it with what we have. How is the room locked?
It's unfit for one detective to ask another that question. For the sake of your own pride, you must figure it out. Unless you'd like to hire me to do it for you. It won't come cheap.
Okay. She's gonna become our friend, and then she's gonna say, oh, you don't need to actually pay me. I doubt it.
I'll figure it out myself.
I feel like she'd charge her friends too.
It's really all about the money with Halara.
The longer I'm with Halara, the deeper into debt I'll get. It's starting to scare me.
Now, let us be swift. Next up is our last crime scene.
Wait!
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
The next one is the art gallery in Yuma district. We're running low on time, so we must hurry.
Okay.
Right. The chief's in danger after all.
Okay, the art gallery. There were many visitors prior to the isolation of Kane Ward, but current attendance is not stellar. Whew. Okay, let's see. Where do we go? Not this way. I need to cross the street. Wrong way. I need to go this way.
So this is the art gallery. It's closed due to special circumstances.
The murder occurred only about a month ago. But I'm certain the crime scene has been cleaned up like the others. Not that it matters to me.
Just gonna kick the door open.
But wait! It's not a good idea to break into the art gallery!
She doesn't care.
Did you say something?
That's our Halara.
The crime scene is deep inside the art gallery. It's one of many storage rooms. Come, I won't allow time to be wasted.
Wait, please!
Art gallery. Let's see. Is there a work apron? Okay, never mind. This is a creepy museum.
Oh!
Seems like this door's locked.
Well,
There are priceless works of art all over the place. Of course the door is going to be locked.
Is this the storage room where the crime scene took place? It's locked.
We're going in.
She does not care.
We're like a couple of thugs or something. Was the first on the scene the person from the church again?
As expected, it's the same worshiper. He said he was trailing the victim after finding a doll with the same name. He saw the victim enter the building late at night. He then searched the premises with the art gallery staff. When they opened this storage room, they discovered the victim's corpse. The door was locked at the time of discovery, and the key was found inside.
Ooh, another locked room mystery! That's for total! But I'm starting to get bored. It's not so special anymore.
What do you mean special? People have died. Let's start investigating.
Yes.
Yes. Let's look at the original location.
Oh!
Seems like this is where the body was at the time of the incident. There's no trace of it anymore, though, except there's blood on the floor.
Beats me.
Looks like the area's been cleaned up. Probably by the What? The peacekeepers or the art gallery staff. I don't think investigating here will turn up any useful information.
Post-cognition reveals the crime scene in slightly faded colors. The room looked vaguely hazy in my eyes, even with the rows of vivid paintings within the art gallery. The smell of paint oil that permeated the room wasn't that of the past, but the present. If even the smells from the past could be recreated, the stench of the corpse would be much more overwhelming.
Well, it's awful.
The corpse of a young woman. She has nails all over her body, as expected.
The victim's name is Issa Moed. She used her good looks to have relations with many men.
Okay.
The amount of suspects who could have written her name on the doll is nearly too high to count.
Jeez.
The victim has those same marks that suggest being strangled to death. Huh? But there aren't any scratches that would have been left from a struggle. And...
Hmm.
You noticed as well.
Interesting.
yeah, there's a wound on the back of her head. It looks pretty deep.
That must have been her cause of death then.
This may be the real cause of death.
I'll find out for you.
Okay. You do what you do, Shinigami. Whatever it is you do.
The only way in or out of here besides the door is this window.
That's such a tiny random window.
The window juts out and is used as a vent. It doesn't appear big enough for someone to move through.
Currently, it opens outwards slightly, but there are no other suspicious traces on it. It seems impossible to enter or exit through here.
Else? No. Okay. There's a lot of stuff over here.
This is...
Nails are driven into this painting of a young man.
Oh, I know this. He's one of those edgelord protagonists everyone loves for no reason.
Why what? That's funny. That's not really the impression I get. It's a large scenic painting with a doll nailed to it. I wonder how this ended up on the floor. Is there a reason?
That's...
If it's related to the incident, there's probably a reason. Let's assume that much.
A large painting lies on the floor, and a doll is nailed against the canvas. One nail goes through the head, another nail is in the chest. But the nail in the chest also passed through the circular hole on the key's handle. Did the culprit leave the storage room after nailing the doll and key to the painting? If that's the case, how did they lock the room? The key was nailed to the picture, so it couldn't have been used.
I don't know. Genuinely, not a clue.
Well, that's what makes it a locked room mystery. I'm sure they figured out some trick.
And I need to find out what that trick is.
Is there anything else? No. But I cut her off. I don't want to listen to her. The cardboard boxes are stacked up. Judging from the labels, the boxes were brought in after the incident.
It appears.
Looks like there's artwork inside. They must be storing items no longer on exhibit. I don't think these are related to the investigation. Anything else to look at? The cardboard boxes are stacked up. Judging from the labels, there are artworks inside. Yeah, we just went over this. There's a layer of dust on the boxes. It doesn't look like the culprit touched them. Meaning they've got nothing to do with the case. Then why was I able to look at it? It's a portrait painting with nails driven into it. This picture really conveys its time period. Maybe the person depicted is an important figure from years ago.
Huh? There's nothing dignified about this guy. He just looks like a regular old geezer.
Okay.
Oh!
A sculpture with a sheet placed over it to keep dust off.
It appears.
Doesn't look like it's been moved for a long time. Yeah, you can tell from the dust that's gathered on the sheet too.
In other words, it's completely irrelevant.
There are baskets on the top shelf. I'm not tall enough to see inside them though.
I'll take a look for you. This is...
What is it?
We accomplished nothing.
So you found nothing. Thanks. You got me. Very helpful of you.
Oh!
It's a sculpture with a sheet over it. The position was the same before and after using postcognition.
I see.
The overall shape of the sheet is also unchanged. We can assume nobody's moved it. This sculpture isn't related to the case. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh!
There are baskets on the top shelf.
There's nothing but dust inside. I guess it hasn't been used for a while.
Basically, it's unrelated to the case. Thanks. Very helpful.
There's a nail stuck in a painting. The killer must have hammered a nail into the portrait instead of a doll. Why is there such a fixation on dolls?
'Cause they're creepy.
The crime scenes so far have all been abnormal, but this one's just sick and twisted.
Alrighty, almost done, almost done.
This is...
A painting of a man screaming with his hands clutching his face. There's something unnerving about this painting. I almost feel as if it's gonna swallow me whole.
That's...
Paintings don't have that kind of power. More importantly, did you find anything? No. Nothing suspicious. It doesn't look like it's related to the case. The canvas placed here is completely blank. I wonder why it's blank. And why is it so messily placed with the wooden frames?
well,
It doesn't look like an exhibition piece. Maybe it was used for some other event. I see. Nothing seems out of place. I don't think this will help with the case. Look.
Yeah,
A blank canvas and wooden frame have been placed on a trolley. Nothing seems to have changed between then and now. At least, that's how it looks to me. It appears unchanged to me as well, meaning there's probably no evidence to... What'd she say? I missed it. Oh, why did that happen? I didn't even click the button. Alright, last one.
there are 2 keys that open this door. Only one of them was inside the room at the time of discovery. The other one was owned by a member of the art gallery staff. That staff member always carried the extra key and used it to enter this room when the corpse was discovered.
where was the key found inside usually kept?
It's supposed to be kept in the administrative office, but it's unknown if it was always there. Maybe it was lost and the culprit found it. Or perhaps the culprit secretly stole it. Either way, the culprit managed to obtain the key somehow.
One key was in the storage room. The other key was always carried by a staff member. If the culprit is that staff member, then this wouldn't be a locked room mystery, right?
Why go through the trouble of making it look like a locked room murder if you'd immediately become the first suspect?
She has a point.
I guess you wouldn't.
This case is kind of intense already. I don't know. I don't know how I'll do in the mystery labyrinth.
Oh!
Spilled paint has stained the floor. If we can find out when the spill occurred, we'll know if it's related to our investigation.
I've been wondering, did the culprit knock this paint can over? If so, it could have been used for some sort of trick.
It's unwise to make up your mind before conducting a proper investigation. It may have been like this before the murder, or it could have tipped over when the discovery was first made.
Right.
You got carried away in the hopes of getting complimented. Aren't you an eager little puppy?
Be quiet.
should be enough.
I'm finished investigating here. I feel like the full picture is slowly starting to come together. Alright, I'm done. Let's go.
That should do it for the room. Next is the window. It would be best to check outside of it. Go ahead. I'll stay here.
Outside the window? All right.
Okay.